Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans. We are your hosts, Bull P and Timmy G. We in the house, man. Hey, look, that was a phenomenal win. We was just talking about it. Descent went off. I think really everyone played well, but in my opinion, just to kind of start the whole thing off, the defense, I mean, we was talking so much about how that front four, but the front seven and even that back end, I think throughout the entire game played flawless. But I need to get y'all's thoughts. Timmy G, I'm going to go ahead and let you go first, man.
Dude, hey, defense showed up.
Yeah.
Like, everybody questioned secondary, right? And listen, they had three really good people. Look, we made some mistakes that we can clean up. Peely is a dog. That hit on fourth down, bro. Hey, he was Gandalf up in there. You know what I'm saying? You shall not pass, bro. Hey, I love it. I love it. But and then he had the one stupid penalty. But hey, the guys played good. The transfers showed up. McCoy, right? Man, I'm horrible with names. So McCoy and what's the
Miles Kittelman?
Now Miles Kitselman showed up too, but what about the guy from MTSU?
Yeah, the safety. I can't think of his name.
Kobe.
That's right, Jacoby Thomas.
Jacoby Thomas, bro. Hey, he was in there. Hey, they played good, man. I mean, we knew they were going to confuse Nico a little bit. They did that, you know, and then that one interception, I ain't holding that against him because dude got his arm. It is what it is. But hey, man, Vols showed up and showed out when they needed to. And let me tell you something: there was a lot of recruits at that game in North Carolina watching that, and they did what you. Hey, when you get fed a cupcake, you got to eat that cupcake. Hey, the Vols ate the cupcake tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, gobble it up, man. Nah, man, I agree 100%, man. The defense was freaking, the defense was strong tonight, man. I mean, you talk about coming downhill, flying around. The D-line, just as advertised, it's amazing how much even better they looked than last week against supposedly better competition. I think this week, man, I mean, they couldn't get a playoff. I mean, it was the first, 3 or 4 drives of the second half. It seemed like they didn't even get a yard. I mean, they couldn't do a thing on us. Run the ball, they had like negative 15 yards or something like that at the half. I mean, it was ridiculous. Saw guys flash. Secondary played well. Backers played well. I mean, the defense was the star of the show. And we kind of talked about this live. Like, it felt like we were playing so poorly, but, at halftime we were up 28-10 or 23, whatever it was. As bad as we played, we still dominated. And to me, that's a sign of a really good team. When you can not play your best and still dominate, man. Hey, and this team's just getting started. We got a long way to go. So,
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think top to bottom, everything was just it wasn't executed perfectly, but really both of y'all's points. A lot of the younger guys, the transfer guys, they all stepped up. And then too, since we didn't play clean, there was a whole lot of penalties. Seeing that here in the chat, but I just feel like the way that we're able to dominate, that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna bring those stats up here in just a second. I was hoping that they would have the defensive stats, but they don't have that all up just yet. The thing that I wanted to look at is how many sacks did we have. I feel like
we had 3.
Yeah,
really?
We had 3. We had 3, and then we had 12 tackles for loss. But I was saying it felt like way more than that.
Listen, the tackles for loss, they were disruptive. The tackles for loss, like even when they were passing and we couldn't get to them, Big O throwing up that paw. Big O should have been a volleyball player after these games, bro. Hey, he's dinking balls left and right. I love to see it, man. Look, they're special. They put everybody on notice, not because of the offense, but because of the defense. Look, it's one thing to have to scheme for Nico, but when you got Nico and that defense, Will Brooks. What?
Wow.
Hey,
huge.
Hey, I ain't gonna say nothing more. Will, you man,
yes,
my dog. Hey, right place, right time, pick 6, and that was a backbreaker for them. They were about to score. That was like a 14-point swing.
Yeah,
Will, bro. Yeah, you did your thing on that one.
Man, hey, so look, that was actually that was the catalyst that opened up the whole thing. It's like the floodgates opened up as soon as he did that. And really, honestly speaking, I think he was actually beat. So I don't know exactly what the coverage was, so I don't want to speak out of turn. I have to go back and watch the film. But it looked like the guy that he was supposed to be covering ended up in the back of the end zone. But Timmy G, like you said, right place, right time. Yeah. I think sometimes if you work hard and if you know what you're doing, sometimes you have a feel for the game. And I think that that's why the staff has had Will Brooks out there, because he has a good feel for it. And listen, as long as he's out there making plays, I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, I didn't see him giving up any plays. I saw him coming up inside of the box, making tackles. I feel like Kobe Thomas, same thing. So our safeties, I mean, Andre Turntine, we didn't really hear his name called, but that could be a really good thing. That means he's probably shutting his people down. But I think that our secondary really showed up in a major way. Obviously, there was that one pass that they got to 10 that they threw to, I think that was on Boo, but it was like some weird gadget trick play, the motion over all that. You know, they set that up specifically just for Boo Carter. And I think that he was in pretty good position. That's probably the most difficult play to guard on, like that. That's one of them. That's really hard to do, especially with that defense. So I think that, man, the secondary just showed up in a major way. I want to just kind of, let me see if I can just kind of go through these stats just a little bit. That just kind of helps me to get things kind of lined up. So Nico, let's talk about Nico first. I personally feel like he played well. Now, he did have one pick, and that one was actually kind of tipped at the line of scrimmage, and I think that that's why it was off. Now, that was a really tight window. I think that he trusts his arm a lot, which is good. I mean, most ballers do that, and as I've told y'all, he's going to throw interceptions because he's a gunslinger, he's a baller, he's confident. So that's going to happen. But I think that the trade-off on the other side of it was that he showed that he is still very capable of operating this offense. So it was that one, and then obviously with the second one, I mean, you know, I think that might have been on Spraggs, but the right side of the offensive line looked good for the most part. On that one play, Spraggs just kind of gave up, you know, that pressure, and Nico really probably could have stepped up some, but, you know, ball hits his arm, pick six. That's the only touchdown that they scored. They did not score a touchdown on offense, period. So I'm proud of the way that Nico operated. It looked to me like they were playing three deep and just trying to make us dink and dunk down the field. But I think that, you know, even with all that being said, for us to put up this many points is super special. But also with Nico, and, you know, we're going to get to everyone else rushing. Let me see, how many yards did he have? Right? So he had 8 yards, or he had 8 carries for 65 yards, and obviously that one touchdown on a beautiful, you know, I think that's something that we kind of like schemed up, right? Because it was cover zero, and you could tell that the offensive line, I think Spraggs pulled around. So whenever they go zero like that, and we have you spread out, Nico can use his legs. So that was so important, not just for us to score right there, but for that to be out on film, because now people know, hey, look, you really can't go zero versus Nico. So you have to play us more honest. But what was y'all's thoughts overall on how Nico played?
Man, really good. I mean, really good. I think it's going to take the receiving core a little bit of time to get used to him. He's throwing at spots, right? Like that one pass squirrel on the, you know, he was breaking towards the pylon right there. That was a catchable ball. Even his misses were good throws. I saw some good throws in there that maybe it was a little bit of the receivers timing or whatever. But even a couple of his misses, I was like, damn, that's a good throw, though. I mean, he's putting it, if you miss, he's putting it in the spot that only his guy can get to. He's leading his receiver. He's playing with anticipation. Look, NC State, one thing I'll say about NC State, man, they do a lot of things to confuse a guy. This was huge for Nico to go through this, get this learning experience, be able to go back and watch this on tape and grow from this. Monumental. He showed out. He has that ability too when he runs the ball to get small. Yeah, he's a big dude, but man, he can turn sideways, and he must look like a toothpick to those guys because they just go left and right. And he's going that way. He looked good, man. I mean, he looked really good for a guy he's played 3 games. I saw one stat they popped up. Tennessee has outscored their opponents with him in 3 games, like 160 something to 10. Is that right? It was
something like that. Yeah, it was something.
It was absurd. It was not normal. Okay, and he's a true freshman. I mean, he's not a true freshman. He's a redshirt freshman. This is his first real season. He's balling out.
He is, man. He's the truth, man. And you know, what you said in the beginning, I feel the exact same way. He even his misses still look really good. Like even that first pick he threw, I see what he saw. Like Brew was about to come right past that backer or whoever it was, and he actually put it in a good spot. It's just a little bit high. And listen to the announcers. I don't really get to see this angle of it, but it sounded like maybe Brew maybe had stopped, maybe slowed just a little bit. If he had kept going, it might have actually been a perfect pass, and it would have been like a wow highlight. But instead, it's a pick. It's okay. Hey, you learn from that. But I think he looked great all night. Even the one to Brew on the sideline, I was out of bounds. Brew's out of bounds, but the throw was
that one was ridiculous.
Throw was on point.
Yeah,
I mean, even that one where are you talking about one where Brew's like going post? He's just going straight down. I think he got caught up with the guy behind him, kind of in his legs. And hey, if he'd had half a step, but he put it where that DB had no chance.
Yeah,
it was him. It was Brew or nobody.
Yeah. I mean, he's special, man. And then I like when he came out that first drive. He ran. Excuse me. He ran the ball, kind of scampered out of bounds. Runs over to the NC State sideline. They're kind of chatting at him a little bit, trying to get into his head. And then you can tell Nico kind of chomping back at him. Then the next time he runs it, they're big. Middle linebacker number 10 is supposed to be their all-world guy. Lowers his shoulder into him. And just let him know, like I'm freaking here, bro. Like I'm here. And he's strong. He's so much strong. People realize he had another run later in the game. I think right before that big, or maybe it was a drop before that big touchdown run. We did that kind of read option to Dylan Sampson. Had a guy pulling around. He keeps it. Gets the first down. I think it was that 4th and 3 when he kept it, got that first down. And then that they got a big safety number 5. He's probably about 215 or whatever. Freaking gets up and pushes him off. I mean, just dog. You know what I mean? Like he's a true football guy. And I mean, tonight, for me, even though the stat line wasn't off the charts, like I just feel so much more comfortable with him. I just feel so confident in him. I feel like any game we go in, no matter the environment, no matter the team who we're playing against, what the score ends up being, he's gonna be there. He's gonna show up. He's gonna ball, and that team rallies behind him. They love playing for him. I mean, I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah. So I think that both of y'all have, made some great points. I think that with Nico, again, even though the stat sheet might not look the best, if you watch that game, then you understand how special he actually is. There's been a whole lot of question marks about him being a little bit frail or, maybe thin. Can he handle it? But seeing him running through people, seeing him getting physical, seeing that dog, because if people ain't getting up off of him quick enough, he's like, dude, get up off me. And then his teammates got his back. They charging over all of that. So you can tell his team loves him after that first pick. They're coming over, dapping him up, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. His mentality is he's a warrior.
100%.
You can tell he is a warrior. Like, come at me, bro. That's where he's at, because I'm coming at you. Hey, I knew we were in great shape when we heard the post-game press conference last week, right? And he's like, keep your foot on their throat. I'm like, my God, you Persian, you Polynesian prince.
Yeah, hey, he is. He's a Polynesian prince.
Like we got a guy. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, he is super special. So I'm gonna get to a few of these chats real quick. We got Dirty Higgins says, "Woo!" Listen, I know everybody wants to chime in. We're gonna make sure we can get to as many as we possibly can. Dirty Higgins also says, "We shut Concepcion down after the first quarter." I would love to see what his stat line was. We're gonna go through that here in just a second. Also, it's just me. UT says Will Brooks is awaiting my apology. Yes,
I've already apologized.
Hey, listen. Well, I did not think that he was going to look good out in coverage. I think that he definitely proved me wrong in that aspect. I think that he's a very solid player. I still have to go back through the film because, like I said, I feel like in that one on that one play, I don't think that he was in the correct spot, which is fine as long as you're making plays. So all I care about at the end of the day is, are you making plays and are we winning? And I think that, again, that interception, that was the catalyst to us opening it all the way up. So, yes, I think that Will Brooks can most definitely hold his own. And that is very much needed. I think we're going to be fine on our back end. Let me get to some more. Who else do we have as far as the members? Okay, so we don't have any new ones from the members. Let's pull up these stats again, and let's just kind of dive back into this just because I want to talk a little bit. Let's go to KC Concepcion. How many yards did he end up? 5 for 53. What was the over-under for him? 75? Something like that?
I don't know.
I think it might have been 75, if I'm not mistaken. We held him to 5 for 53. Okay, no touchdowns. Like I said, whenever they have one person on their team,
ridiculous,
Tim Banks knows how to stop him. You know what I'm saying?
Ridiculous. I mean, listen, that guy, he is special.
He is.
Mark it. Watch him in the next game. Watch him in the next. The guy makes plays. He is a player. What they did with him and the way they frustrated these guys and the pressure they put on them. hey, even when they put in the fourth quarter and they put in the second string, they were coming after them. There was no let up. Those dudes, I saw my guy, man. I saw my guy again, Mr. Ross showing up.
Yeah.
Hey, I love it. And a lot of these guys too, they're like, no, it's my time. Let me in. Let me go. I love it. That's what you love to see, man.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I think that secondary played great, man. I think I feel like we start off, we had Jamar McCoy kind of following him around. I know Concepcion was in the slot and McCoy followed him to the slot, which I thought was interesting. And he did a great job in coverage. I think Ricky Gibson looked really good in coverage. They caught that PI on that one time on that deep
ball. That was a terrible
That's okay, though.
Yeah.
That's okay. Hey, put hands on that guy. Be physical. Be rough with him. It's I'll give a PI on that. If you're doing that, I'll all day long.
Yeah. But yes, and that's 100% right. But even still, they can't. So if that's PI, what Georgia does on every single play, I don't even know what you would call that, because they're holding like that. To me, is more pass interference. I think that Ricky Gibson was, like you said, Timmy G. He's just been physical. He had great position on that play, and I also saw Ricky Gibson working in the slot as well. So I think that we've got guys that are versatile enough that they can move around. Everyone who came in, I think that they played well. Just again, first glance at it, but once we go back and watch the film, which I'm planning on probably staying up late tonight and starting on that, I might have something out for y'all at some point tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
But man, listen, I think that this secondary and this defense as a whole is going to be really, really special. But I want to also, we're going to get to that here in just a second, but I want to touch on what else, we limited their wide receivers and everything else too. Justin Jolie, 4 catches for 30 yards, no touchdowns. I don't even know who this Collins guy is. 2 catches, 13 yards. I mean, we shut them down. They only had 15 catches for 104 yards. So, and I think that really goes to our front seven. I wish we could talk a little bit more about them, but it doesn't look like those stats are all the way up. I just think that across the board, dogs on dogs coming in waves. It's going to be very hard for anyone to beat a team with a defense like this, with an offense that we know can score at this clip. What did y'all think about how our linebackers played, though? Did anybody kind of like jump out the film to y'all? Anybody can go.
Healy jumped up to me. Hey, bro. I mean, it felt like the rust was gone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was in holes. He was coming downhill. He put a hat on a guy a time or two.
Yeah. Oh man.
Look, he had that one mistake, but I get it, man. I know because I've been there before. I've done that dumb shit. Hey, I get it, man. I get it. But hey, he played great. And Carter, I feel like Carter played a little better today.
I think so.
T-Lander, that kid's got instincts, man. He's just an instinctual player. He's always around the ball. He's got a nose for it. And when he gets there, he's got bad intentions. I love a dude that's got bad intentions.
I love it.
And there's plenty of guys on this team that I think that have that. But that defensive line, it is insane. It's got to scare some offensive coordinators, the wealth they got.
Yeah.
Because if Oklahoma, one of Oklahoma's deals is they're rebuilding their O-line. You're going to take some rebuild O-line and you got to go against 14 of these monsters? Are you kidding me? All game long.
Did y'all see Jackson Arnold's stat line tonight? I mean, last I checked, he was like 15 of 25 for like 120 yards. This was like in like the fourth quarter. I mean, he's going to look good against, was it playing Buffalo? Whoever they're playing?
No, Houston. Man, look, they did not look good versus Houston at all. I thought that they looked good like in really like the first half of their first game, but in this one, I was not too impressed. I mean, they can still kind of pose some threats to you, but obviously, if Houston can come out, if they can put together some sort of a game plan to limit everything that they do, and Houston was dialing them up on offense too. So I think that is a game that I'm starting to feel. I'm not going to say it quite yet because I haven't really broke down film on them, but I almost feel as confident going down to Norman as I felt coming into this game today. I'm starting to get there, y'all. Like it's about to start to get real.
Listen, I'm on that hype train too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I like about that, and I think that's honestly why Nico was a little bit off at the very start of the game. I felt like I mean, he looked good, but I felt like there was a little something there. I think he was just too amped because I remember seeing an interview with him where he's like, "Oh, home games are good, but I want to go into third place." This is the guy you got now. He wants to go into third place and just, do bad things to you is what he wants to do, and he's doing it too. And that's scary. He's talking about putting on throats. I mean, pump this into my veins, man. I need this.
Hey, look, a quarterback doing that. That's the craziest thing. Like that lets you know the mindset.
Did you guys see that one shot of Heupel when they made that one?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm like,
dial them up, baby.
The Vols are back.
Vols are back 1,000%. The Vols are back. So you know what? I also want to talk some about how dominant the offensive line was. I know that we touched on it briefly, but man, seeing what we did in that running game. Let me pull this back up for everyone to see. I think that Dylan Sampson just played absolutely phenomenal. So we ran for look at this. We ran for 249.
Oh Lord! Hey, you called it. You was like, like, I don't know. I think they're going to get close. But
man, we ran that. That's crazy because honestly speaking, we could have and really should have ran for more than that. We could have put up more points than this. But Dylan Sampson, man, 20 carries, 132 yards, 6.6 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns. We already talked about Nico, but listen, I also think that Bishop ran well. Okay, he had 4.2 yards per carry. Keith got in. I don't really remember him getting in. And then Peyton Lewis. I think that they need to try to put these guys in with some of our, starting offensive line so that they can get a little bit more comfortable. But we do have a stable of backs. I think that the offensive line played tremendous. Nico had all day on several of those throws. It kind of takes me back to whatever season Brady and them went, 17-1, right? It's like whenever Brady would stand back there like a statue all day. I'm seeing some flashbacks of that with this offensive line. And yes, we did kind of bring in 2 tight ends. There was a couple times we had 7 people blocking, but even still, it's night and day compared to what it was last season, and really even in 2022. So we were very basic. I feel like, especially towards the end of the game, I would say maybe midway through the third quarter, we got very, very basic. But, man, this team is dangerous. We really didn't get to use a lot of our playmakers. Brazel, Thornton. I don't think Thornton had any catches at all.
No.
But what did y'all see with that offensive line, and how excited are you to see a line that's moving bodies, that's, keeping Nico upright, I would say about 89% of the time? How do y'all feel about that? P, I'm going to let you go first.
I felt great about the man. The O-line played awesome, man. I think one of the first 2 plays of the game, you see Coop Mays. I think he pulled around and he absolutely flattens the guy. It might have been the very first play of the game. I think it was at number 10 too, that middle linebacker. Absolutely lays him out. Can't wait to watch that one back. I saw John Campbell lay somebody out too. Guys were moving bodies on that first touchdown run. I think that was a play you had called for where they kind of pulled 2 guys around.
Yeah.
That was just blocked beautifully. That's teach tape stuff. The O-line was awesome, but just real quick, kind of touch on something you said about the offense, and we're kind of like you're saying, like if you think about the game, I don't know if we saw any, read option get out to the quick screen. I don't know if we saw any of that the entire game. Like we're actually running an offense now. Like we're actually dialing stuff up, letting plays develop. Something I've been calling for, which I know we talk about Georgia because that's the team we got to go through. A lot of the things that give them trouble are those condensed formations, and that we had a big key. I think it was the 3rd or 4th down to squirrel white. We're in that bunch, kind of that tight set, and we sneak squirrel off the backside. Heupel's really starting to open up the playbook more. It's just amazing what a quarterback could do. But the offensive line, I thought they were. I'd probably give them a freaking A, probably A. Probably not quite an A plus because there was a little bit of pressure, but I'd probably give them an A minus for the performance tonight.
Yeah. So, Timmy G, what did you think just in seeing all of that? Obviously, guys getting up to the second level. Was there anyone that just stood out to you up front, whether that's good or bad? And do you think that this offensive line is going to be good enough to challenge the best in the SEC? Because Texas looked good today. They looked really good. I didn't get to see Georgia today. I think that we'll probably run all over Ole Miss. It's not really that many teams that I feel like are on the same level as where Tennessee is, honestly speaking. I think it's maybe 4 or 5 teams, and that's just up to this point. But what do you think about our offensive line?
O-line, I think there's a few things to clean up. Look, I'm happy we won. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, man, but I saw a couple things that John Campbell did that I was like, look, bro. But listen, he's playing on a different side, and things are a little bit different from him. I think he's got a little bit going. But listen, we're in game 2. I think this team is going to get better as we go every game. Yeah. I tell you what, man, by the time we get to Oklahoma, I'm ready for it. I think I'm ready for it. I thought the O-line looked good. There was a couple times, like you said, Nico had all day and then some. And then sometimes, man, I think they had him, but he rolled out. And then that, but hey, I think you need to do that because guys were covered downfield. And then sure enough, he pulls the coverage off. He's got a guy to throw to. They had to do pretty good because D. Samp went off.
Yeah.
Bro.
He is unbelievable.
He has made a leap. Too. He has made a leap from last year, big time, and he's more patient. He's way more patient, man. The way he will get in and set in behind a blocker and wait for that moment. And it's so crazy. How much does he weigh?
He's got to be somewhere. I'd say he's probably about 210. I mean, what would you say?
Yeah, I'll say about
210. Really?
Well, he's about 190, 195 last year.
That's what I'm saying. If they say 210, they're lying.
Maybe.
No, but he looks.
But
big.
Hey, he's got that aura thing, man. He's got such balance.
Yeah,
he can do things. He is amazing. He had an incredible game. And they were looking for that shovel pass. They were waiting a couple times. And when did this become a thing?
I was about to say, I feel like we're running that maybe a little bit too much. It definitely worked.
A little much on the shovel pass. Apparently, we lost the side screen, and now we're doing the shovel pass. Is that it?
I don't know. Yeah.
Listen, we are setting something up.
Utah pass
is being set up.
Utah pass, whatever, man. It's a shovel pass, man. Shut up. But hey, I got to go back and watch that one play. Apparently, Cooper, like you said, because I heard Herb Street, Cooper Mays just destroyed something. I was like, oh my God, I
it was one of the first few plays. Yeah, it was one of the first. It was like the first play. It might have been the first play of the game. It was beautiful.
Hey, I
laid out, fully extended his body, and it was textbook.
Hey, I love it. Let those. That's a sack for the big guys. Let those big guys eat.
100%.
They love it. And when they do that, it's great.
Hey. How about that play with John Campbell and Dagum Spraggins taking that guy to the sideline? I mean, you know those two guys. Those guys love to fight. They love to get nasty. I love seeing that.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Every single body
some dude up on one of them. I was like, oh yeah, all right, Sprags, that's good. Where's the stuffed animal? You need to get back to the stuffed animal thing in the end zone, whatever, because that was lit. But no, man, O-line, they played good everywhere tonight. I mean, I can't find fault with a lot of anything tonight, really. They dominated. I mean, they dominated on both sides of the ball. We made some mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're talking about a kid that's played 3 games. He's going against some crazy defensive coordinators and guys that are trying to throw everything and anything. A young man that has never seen anything but high school football and now. Mm-hmm. Hey, what did Lee Corso say? Did y'all catch that?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, what did he say? Oh,
what did he say? He's going to win more than one Heisman.
Hey, that's you know what? I would not be surprised. Honestly speaking, hey, look, I think he has a very good chance to win it this season, just because you hear how the media is backing him so much. And to me, that's one of the telltale signs that someone's about to win it. Like they're trying to give it to him. So he just needs to keep on playing his game.
Listen, when you're given your moment, you got to make the most of it. He makes the most of his moment, right? Mm-hmm. And listen, he's not on a train anymore. If it wasn't been for the 2 picks, he would be on the hype Learjet. That's where he would be, because that man is making some moves.
Right.
Hey, I love it, man. And he deserves it too. For a kid that young, can you think what this man is going to be like next year with year experience, seeing everything he's doing and the way he breaks things down and the weapons he's going to have at his disposal?
Yeah, it's going to be So you know what? I think I had talked last weekend on one of our live streams, and I said that I don't know how good we're going to be next season, but at the same time, number one, knowing how good Nico is going to be, but seeing what we're doing, like we're doing so many different things, we're finding ways to win. So I can see a situation where this is a team that can win it all this season, and whether we do or we don't next season, I think we're going to be in the exact same boat. And Timmy G, to your point, Nico is going to be a lot better next season. Right here from Tithota. I hope I'm saying that right. One who is a member of the channel. Thanks so much for being a member. Thank you to all the members. Hey, y'all make sure to like and make sure to share this video with other volunteer fans. But they say, what a game, guys. Wasn't perfection, but we still steamrolled a power 4 team. 100%. I think that we have a whole lot more of that coming. I just don't see a whole lot in our way. I mean, even Alabama kind of struggling down there with Golish and South Florida.
Bro.
I'm not I haven't really watched a lot of it yet, but I'm not
Golish
very impressed with anybody.
I'm calling it now. Golish will not be at South Florida long.
Hey, he might end up at Florida.
When
that
you
would
play
be
Alabama like this man is playing Alabama for 2 seasons, not one season, 2 seasons. You're a Florida State, Clemson. A couple of these places might be looking for somebody when you got to do a buyout like some of these people need to do.
Yeah,
you're going to be looking to spend a little bit of money. Who would be a really good purchase that you think you might get a really good investment out of? It's Alec Golish.
Yeah. Hey, but look, so I think that he could end up at Florida, though. P and I was talking about this earlier. That would be that would be really, really painful if that happened, just because that man can coach and he knows offense very well.
Florida State needs you. Go to Florida State.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, please go somewhere else. Go anywhere else, but do not go inside of the SEC. We do not want to see that. We'd rather see him in the playoffs than any of that other stuff. But let me see if I can get to some more of these chats. I want to make sure that I'm chiming in with everybody. Let's get right here to Falatio says, seemed like refs took the under on Nico passing yards tonight. That callback was garbage. Yeah, so I think that you're talking about the one where he threw the ball down to Kitzelman, but we did have people down the field. So that's just something that it's probably hard as an offensive lineman, but you do have to be conscious of that. So I think that there's so much growing for this team to do, but for us to be as dominant as we have been and as we were tonight, understanding that I want to say back in 2022, we played LSU. Was it the 3rd or was it the 4th game?
Something like that.
Y'all know. So that was when we really kind of, turned that corner because we were struggling versus Pitt in the 2nd game? Or was that the 1st one?
It's a 2nd game.
Yeah.
Like Bowling Green or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, my whole point is this, man. We are already at a crazy level, and we're just going to continue to get better and better and better, man. I could not be more proud of what we got out there. Let's get to some more of these. Did I already get to this one right here from Dirty Higgins? Says Nico seems to have been created to run this offense. I agree with that one.
Yes,
100%. He's perfect for it, right, guys?
Heupel knew what he was doing when he went after him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not even sure if he reached out to Manning or not. And honestly, if you were Arch, would you want to come and come behind Peyton? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I think he knew when he saw Nico, this is the prototype that I've been looking for. Like, this guy fits my offense. Perfectly.
Yeah.
The movement, the decision making, the way he can run the ball when he needs to run the ball, like, it's a nightmare to plan for.
Yeah.
He can literally do anything and everything.
Yeah. And we got a little glimpse on that callback play, got called back, got a little glimpse of what we kind of been talking about. The element he adds to this offense, even more so than Hendon Hooker, he can extend plays, and he's going to actually go for the big play down the field. And I think the way we spread the field with our spacing, once you buy a little extra time, things are going to be wide open. As we saw, Kitzman was wide open. Now, the call was legit. I want to say they called it on Dane Davis, but if you watch the replay, that's probably what the comment was talking about. Dane was only like 2 yards up the field, but Cooper and Spraggins were like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
so
they were way up the field.
Yeah, they called it on.
And They were just blocking. I think sometimes you get so engaged with the blocking that you'll have no idea. Like you get into your own little world, right?
Especially when you got the guy who's beside you, right beside you.
Right,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? When you got when you're blocking and Sprags is your guy that's right beside you, and you're like, I ain't moved. Yeah. You didn't know that you had because anyway.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been there, done that. I get it.
Yeah, I get it 100%.
100%. All right, so let's get to some more of these. So we also got from Justin Thorne says,
yes,
Peely came downhill very hard but smart. Yeah, so Peely is going to be really special. We kind of touched on that earlier. That one hit, I think on number 14, when his head hit the turf, you can just kind of see, and then also he does a great job of filling. He did a really nice job of kind of getting. So I want to say, was that on Will Brooks's interception? It was one play, might have been like a 4th down or 3rd down stop. It was close to the goal line, but he was showing a blitz from the right side. He drops back into coverage, and they were trying to run some like crossing routes. And I mean, he shut that down. So we were able to stop the play just because he's such a wily old veteran and he moves well. And like he looks like he's very comfortable. And then even on that one, when that guy was just kind of like getting up and Peely still hit him. I mean, that's okay because you need players that have that edge. It's like you just hunting, right? Like you would rather have to pull a player back than have to push him out there. So Peely, I think he's going to be just fine.
100%, man. You hit the nail on the head there. Like you would much rather pull a guy back. I mean, like most people, when they talk about middle linebackers, they used to say, if you're not going every weekend to get your middle linebacker out of jail, like you got the wrong middle linebacker. Like, what are we talking about here? Look, that's a different mentality, man.
Yes.
When you talk like Al Wilson mentality, bro.
Yeah.
Let's look. That guy on the locker room.
Yeah,
and he was the guy. You knew if you messed up, you answered to Big Al, Big John Henderson. Man, he's got guys punching him in the locker room just because. And that's like, what?
You need a few screws loose, man, to play this game.
Hey,
you absolutely have to have
it.
And I love seeing that from Peely because he's like kind of such a soft-spoken, nice guy off the field, but you can tell when he's between those lines, man, he turns to that same warrior like we see with Nico. So I love to see that, man.
Yeah, he's got bad intentions. When he's in there, when he's got bad intentions, he's coming downhill, man. I love it. I love what we saw tonight. It feels good, man. I just can't say it.
Hey, it's been way too long. I mean, even though 2022 wasn't that long ago, but I think that this season is going to surpass on so many different levels, man. Like we just look
different. Like Tennessee, you had Jalen Hyatt and you had Hendon, and don't get me wrong, man, we had some good running backs and stuff, but it was just different. Like it was big plays and explosive plays. And that's all it was. It was the Jalen Hyatt show. And Cedric. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had Brew and a lot of other stuff, but man, Hyatt that year was insanity. But what you got right now, you got something that's different. When you got defense winning games, let's be honest, in 2022, I don't remember defense winning games.
No. All right, so look, y'all. NC State rushed for 39 yards on 28 carries. Right?
Wow.
They only held them to what is this? 143 yards total? Total offense?
Yeah, total. We dominated.
Is this
right, y'all?
Yeah.
There's no way.
They had,
go to the team stat.
They had 3 playmakers. I can name 3 right now. Jolie, Concepcion, and the one running back. What was his name?
Probably Smothers.
Smothers.
Yeah. And you held them to 134 yards. That's
143.
143. That's crazy.
Ridiculous, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. No, like to your point, Timmy G, like it feels different because 2022, man. It's it's kind of the first time they really saw this offense be what it could really be. Guys are just wide open all the time.
Yeah.
But now to have a game like we did today, where we didn't even play our best, it wasn't big plays. It was just we're dominating at the line of scrimmage. We're running down your throats. We'll dink and dunk you. We can extend plays. Convert on 3rd downs. Like we can do all those little things, play good defense, not let you get a yard, hold you to negative 15 yards in the first half, whatever it was. I mean, it feels completely different. It feels like we're a physically dominant team that can compete with the big dogs, tit for tat, mano a mano at the line of scrimmage, on the perimeter, the whole deal. So this does feel different than 2022.
Dude, Heupel is dropping psychological warfare on his future opponents. It's what he is doing right now. This is what we're watching.
Yeah,
like he's literally doing that. Like if you're a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator, when you look at Tennessee, you were worried whether you're either one of those guys. You're giving guys nightmares. There's guys that are going to be going to the drawing board, going, man, what do we do about this?
Yeah,
it's been a long time since we could say that about both sides of the ball. We can say that about both sides of the ball right now. I'm not saying NC State was national champion and all that, but they were crafty. They did some crazy things. They did some. They really tried to use their guys in a lot of different ways that would be challenging if you weren't ready for it. And they were ready for it. And man, they showed out.
They I think that NC State is better than whoever Notre Dame lost to today. I think that they
bull off the top rope. Bull off the top rope. Oh my Lord! You were Denver. I saw Denver in the chat coming off the top rope a minute ago, by the way. But hey, bull off the top. No,
yes, sir.
Shane Gillis, take that. That's all I'm saying.
Talk to him, Timmy G. Yeah, but I mean, look, this was a huge win, y'all. I mean, you can't overstate how big of a win this was. But we will have some more coming out for sure.
Are we top 10 now? Oh, my bad.
Huh?
We will be.
I was gonna say we're top 10. Notre Dame
I'm going to be shocked. Penn State
and freaking Oregon. I know at halftime it was like 20-14. They're playing some scrub team, and they're winning. Yeah, like that game's on right now.
Again,
wow.
Penn State at home.
Oh man, Bowling Green, come on.
What? Bowling Green came into your house and
they got to drop.
I'm not gonna say what they did to you, but they kind of.
hey, Bama too. Bama needs to drop too.
Hey,
we got to be top 10 for sure.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's all gonna work itself out. I don't care if we're top 10 or not right now. I know that some people
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that part of it. I just want to beat whoever we have lined up against us every single week. As long as we take care of our business, at the end of this season, I feel like we will be hoisting up that trophy. I just don't. Of course, we have to continue to get better, but as long as we just have a normal, as long as we get better at a normal rate, then we'll be able to beat anybody in this entire country. Let me get to this chat right here from my dog TN Jr. What's going on, TN Jr.? Says dominant at the lines and the backers and backfield was complimentary and violent. Love this so much. Yeah, I mean, we was just talking. It feels good to see. It most definitely does. Let me also get to this. This is from Felicio says, where is the join link for the channel? It's not up on my phone. So actually, once I'll have to put it back into this video, and you should see that join button at the bottom of this one. So you can just click on that and join that way. And also, if you can't figure that part of it out, you could just go to one of our other videos or wait until we make one tomorrow and you can join then. But yeah, I'm sorry if you meant that the join button is not there or if you mean that it's not down under this video. But yeah, I do need to probably go back and put that up. Let me see right here. We got Deborah P. What's up, Deborah P? She says, what did I think of Pierce tonight? So from what I could see, he was getting held. I mean, he was getting held a whole lot from that guy that they said supposed to be some first-round offensive tackle. I wasn't impressed with him, but it was that. And then also, it looked like they were definitely chipping him. They were doing things to just try to slow him down. I don't think that he had any sacks, if I'm not mistaken, but he's going to get his. Just trust when I tell you it's a long season. He will get his.
Let me say this. I was impressed with him, and here's why. What everybody said on Pierce was, well, yeah, he's a good pass rusher, but he can't play the run. He looked pretty good against the run. Hey, and here's the thing about Pierce. They move him around a lot. One time he's on this side. One time, dude, sometimes that dude is dropping back in coverage. What are we talking about here? Hey,
you know what, Timmy G? I wish that we would not drop him back in the coverage as much. I understand why we do it. And actually, one of the times that we did, I think we got a strip sack maybe. So, or we got some sort of a big play. So it can work, but I would just like to see him get after the passer a little bit more.
All day long.
Yeah, I think that I feel like we drop him in the coverage more than any of our other Leos.
Hey, how many times that number 74 get called for a bad formation? because he's lined up in
he
the
was
backfield.
terrified, wasn't he?
And why was he lined up in the backfield? Because holy crap, this guy is coming and he's coming fast.
Yes.
I need to back up because if I'm right here, he's going to be by me like this.
Beautiful. Yep, exactly. And that's kind of to Deborah P's, to her question, like that's, James Pierce, I feel like he played great too. He impressed me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of his plays aren't going to show up on the stat sheet. Like,
No,
I mean, he was causing pressure. He was making McCall step in the pocket. He was disruptive.
Very disruptive.
So, I mean, that's what you expect, man. He's commanding two guys a lot of times. Like, people got to know where he's at. I mean, there was one play that kind of showed you could see the quarterback's eyes. And like he drops back and you can see him. He looks at James Pierce and like immediately steps up. Like, he's taking his eyes off his receivers to see where James Pierce is. Like that stuff.
That's when you know.
That makes a difference. That makes a real big difference.
Hey, listen, when Herb Street calls out, did you see James Pierce's spin move?
Oh yeah,
he's probably doing something pretty good.
Yeah, that was a beautiful spin move, by the way, too.
Man. I didn't see it. I got to rewatch it, man. Like I missed so much, but that's just the way football is. You can't watch it all. You're watching this thing over here, but you missed this thing over here. Right, is what it is.
Right. But I mean, listen, James Pierce is most definitely special, and I think that you could look at some of the success of some of those other players and say,
100%.
Well, obviously, some of that has to go to James Pierce getting more coverage on his side.
They're going to feast because he's catching double, and they're worried about where he is, and that's the problem with this defensive line. They've got so many guys, you can't plan for just that one guy, right? You can't double just James and go, oh, we're going to be okay. No, you're not. You got Norman Lott. Hey, Joshua Josephs.
Man,
Joshua
Josephs together a lot.
Yeah. Have you seen that guy this year? He is not the Joshua Josephs of old. If we stood those two guys together, you'd be like, who's this guy? Because he looks really big and really mean, and I like him.
Yes.
But hey, he is no longer the very thin twitchy. Now he's bigger and twitchy, and he's been very disruptive. Is he getting a lot of sacks? Is he doing it? No, but he's being disruptive. He's
dead close. He's
wreaking havoc.
Like 3 of them today.
Yeah, he is wreaking havoc. He is causing problems. He's causing enough problems that the defensive coordinators are going to have to go, all right, what do we do about this guy and this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, and I think we've said this a lot, but it is going to be a nightmare to figure out what to do versus this defense. And I think that really, this was a situation where, again, we come into this game, everyone's talking about Nico. I think that he played well, but on the stat sheet and all that type of stuff, it wasn't great. But the defense is now being very, very impressive. So don't be surprised if over this weekend or, leading up into next week, if everyone's talking about, man, look, Tennessee should probably be a top 5 team. They look like they can beat anybody because now they look complete everywhere. I mean,
they look like a top 10 for sure.
Boxes. Huh?
They look like a top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Penn State, you did not look good. Notre Dame, bro, where is Notre Dame going to land? Like,
man,
I mean, they're not going to drop them too far. Y'all.
Yeah, I know. They're Notre Dame, like they're going to get they should be here, and we're going to be like, no.
Yeah, like they should move down. I would say out of the top 15 because you lost to North Illinois.
Listen, best case scenario for Notre Dame is they're going to swap them with where we were, and we should be in the top 10.
Probably
about it. But we'll see. Who knows? They're a media darling, always have been. They've always had to put up less wins and less impressive performances to pass everybody else on the list. That's just been a thing. It's always been a thing. They're Notre Dame. Who else is independent besides Notre Dame?
That's it.
I think Navy and Army.
What? Notre Dame is special. Oh, what's that? Are they?
I know it used to be. I don't know if it's still are. It's like 3 or 4 teams.
Okay, you know what? I thought they were the only one.
Is it really? There's 4 independent teams.
I feel like Navy and Army are.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more. I'm not sure who that.
Probably Air Force.
I gotta look it up, but yeah, there's like
no. You know what? Air Force is in a conference.
Air Force in a conference. Here,
where's Air Force at now?
I'll look it up real quick. Let me see.
Yeah, they can't be. Maybe it's I know it's not the Big 12, but and you know what, man? Just to kind of like while we're talking about other teams, I watched Utah play today. I don't know where they're ranked at, but wherever it's at, it's probably too high. That's another team I feel like. I mean, they just keep on crowning them, but you know what? Our time is gonna come. We just have to continue to go out there and ball every single weekend. Now, Yeah, what?
Oh, yeah. So it looked like I was wrong. So this, well, I don't know if I'm looking. So what I'm looking at now is saying Notre Dame, UConn, and UMass. I don't think that's right, though.
That's not right at all. Yeah, no, that's not right at all. But anyway, so Cam Seldon didn't get to go today. I don't know what he's dealing with, but that's something for us to watch because I feel like at some point this season, obviously, we are going to need him. So I would say if it's kind of like he aggravated whatever he had before with his shoulder, because I think they said it was an upper body injury, then we just need to make sure that we leave him out until he's 100% healthy. I think that we've seen enough to understand that we don't need him right now. But once we get like more into playoff mode or more into like the real gauntlet of our schedule, then we will need him. So I just feel like we need to just let him sit on out. And then I think that Caleb Perry, they said that he was sick, not feeling well, so hopefully he will be back. I was very impressed with the way that our linebackers were able to hold up without Edwin Spillman and also Perry.
We saw a little bit of Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith played a little bit today.
Jalen Smith, he looked better just from what I saw off the first watch than he did last weekend.
He did, yeah. But I mean, it was mainly just the big three: T-Lander, Carter, and Keeley. But Jalen Smith, he came. He probably got about 10, 15 snaps, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
what's up with Spielman?
What would have got last season, huh?
Yeah,
I wonder what's up with Spielman.
He's hurt.
Yeah, something. I think it might be something kind of serious, but just because they haven't like specified anything at all about it, and he hasn't played like.
So I saw him on the sideline. He was standing. He was smiling. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. He looked great, but that's a good point too. I wonder what happened with Tyree West. They didn't really show what happened. I don't know if it was just
Tyree West.
Yeah, so he went down like just randomly, like before the snap. Remember? Yeah, he went down.
Yeah, so I think that he was acting on that one too.
I hope so.
Yeah, because that was like a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. I don't think the wheels lined up right. So, yeah, I think that's all that was. Hopefully, it is.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get a whole lot more out of the press conferences and all of that type of stuff. But you know what? It is kind of getting late, y'all. But we'll call it a night real quick. But of course, y'all, we want to come in here and celebrate with everybody. Just kind of get out some of our thoughts. Man, I think that this team is really special. Do y'all have any closing thoughts on the way out the door, Timmy G?
We're on the rise. I mean, listen, enjoy it, guys. Like, if you're a Tennessee fan, let's face it, you probably got the battered ball syndrome. I know I've got it. I've had it. Hey, I'm not going to lie. Like, when we first got on here, and we were doing our predictions, we were talking, I was all pumped up, and then I saw all these other teams losing and getting beat by all these other teams. I was like, the battered ball syndrome started creeping in.
Hey, same here.
Oh no, this I was starting like, oh no, this could be. But it wasn't. And why wasn't it? Because they're playing different, man. It's a different it's a different thing now. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. We're going to have a good season.
Yeah.
No, I agree, man. I echo those same sentiments, man. I kind of felt that too, seeing all these teams losing, and then we kind of came out with kind of the slow start we had. I was like, I shouldn't have predicted us to drop 50 tonight, But
Bro, you nailed it.
We nailed it, man. 51. I think I called 56-10. It was 51-10, so we're pretty close.
I was going to say 48-17. That was my original prediction. Yeah. I thought, okay, we're going to get 6 touchdowns and 2 field goals because second string is going to come in and maybe and whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you nailed it.
Hey, we look great tonight. My only question still is I know we held them tonight, but that pass offense, I still don't feel like we were tested like we want to see this team tested. And I don't think we're gonna get a real test from our pass defense. I don't think we'll really get tested until we see Oklahoma in week 4. But on the Kent State first,
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about
that too, just because they had to hold up with our D line.
Yeah,
I think that's pass rush. It is for real. It really, really is. I think it's gonna be hard for anyone to be able to throw the ball down the field on us. So,
man, did you see the package we had? I think it was James Pierce, Joshua Josephs, Dominic Bailey, and Omar Norman Lott. I think that's kind of our rapid.
That is disgusting.
That was gross.
That is disgusting.
That was gross.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, listen, y'all. We are going to go on ahead and wrap it up. But I am going to try to stay up tonight and maybe get out a little bit of film. I'll probably do one just for everybody tomorrow. Again, it might not be tomorrow. I don't want to promise y'all that, but I'm going to try to do it as long as I can stay up. But we will probably have some more coverage on this game tomorrow. Just kind of, thoughts after actually going through the film several times, and what some of those takeaways look like. But thank y'all so much, man. Vol Nation, y'all should be very, very excited about this one. And as always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We will see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.
Wow.